What you're just mentioning takes us to another realm, which I don't want to completely go into, but actually, there is some concern, even outside of, especially outside of Nigeria, where you begin to treat the different varieties and then it loses the organic nature of the food. Suddenly, you have all kind of varieties that have been doctored, and outside of here, outside of Nigeria, in the UK, in America, people are talking about the fact that agriculture should go back to being organic rather than the ones that has specific amount of zinc or have specific amount of calcium and iron.
By the way, they're called agric here. Anything that has been tampered with by these guys, we call agric.
Yes.
Like during my youth service, we saw these huge plantains in Jos. Spotless, shapely, but you fry them and they're absolutely tasteless. They were only good to look at. They did not taste like plantain at all. That was when I knew the meaning of the word agric.
Madam, those were the early stages.
Yes. Oh, okay.
And what Mr. Elona has brought
they
up...
They taste better now.
Yes, because the early stages, the emphasis was, let us increase the yield. Or let us ensure that they are resistant to a particular disease. That engaged the attention of the breeders. Now that they have made significant progress in those areas, they're saying, look, let us not just talk about how many tons of fresh cassava roots, but how many tons of gari or how many tons of good quality gari you get from a certain area. Those are the more exciting things. And so when he says that vitamin A cassava, vitamin A maize, this is not through genetic engineering at all.
Not at all.
So it is still purely, when grown by our farmers, not applying pesticides or anything, it's still organic. Yes. I would say that when people outside of Africa are talking about organic agriculture, we have been organic all along. We didn't have the money to buy the chemicals anyway. So it was naturally organic. So it is still. But to say that the cassava we are eating, where we normally will add, say, palm oil to give it a nice yellow color and therefore raise the vitamin A potential, we say naturally within cassava, there are varieties that have that natural ability to have the vitamin A precursors. So those have been selected and then they are being multiplied.
You're not looking at having, anyway.
I do beg your pardon. We have a caller on the line. Okay. Hello, good morning, Uche, who's calling from Abuja. Good morning.
Good morning. Are you hearing me? Good morning. Are you hearing me?
Good morning. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. You see, I'm just want to respond on what the minister said. What minister says is different from what the practicality of what we are seeing in the country. It is not enough to reassure Nigerians that all is well all the time, but in practical in order to counter. You see, now, the price of beef in Nigeria is very high. A model of beef now in Abuja costs about 500 to 600 naira. Whereas before the 3 years ago, about 80 naira per kilo. The cost of Gary now is very high. You know, and when you begin to put 2 and 2 in one, you see that instead of once as Nigerians to put in their oil well, a lot of Nigerians are getting starved. So in this view of fraud now, what we are seeing in this country now, instead of this continuing reassuring and the people are dying of hunger, we want to see practical steps being taken. Now, the minister is taking he wants to take a step now, ban on the production of rice, increasing the price, the duty of rice to 100%. Under this kind of situation we are seeing, you see, it doesn't tire because a lot mobilization flights and all that. They buy the bags and some are donated to them by the government. So they really know what is happening. Ban on importation when Nigeria cannot produce. I think what you need to do in this country, first of all, we should go on with a practical step to increase production. And when we are able to meet the need of the people, we can start talking about bans and increment of flour, increment of wheat, increment of bread, all those kind of things. And when we are not even going to market to people like the first. So I don't see really, that's why the charismatic of military is frequency in talking. So I don't want to see, look at the budget, the amount of money that is allocated to agriculture. So I want to say 7 million Nigerians is about 14 billion. How can we just put that in number? And people are just saying that one is well. The amount, the government have got some seriousness on what is happening. Okay, for example, the government has given about 19 billion. Why they cannot even build a dam? They couldn't even build this dam that has caused this flood. This amount of money that gives us a measure, only about 10 to 15% of them will go to the people, others will eat them up. They could have used this money to build dam and prevented this flooding. You see, we see a ban on poultry and poultry is coming out, ban on the shoe and Italian shoes everywhere. It's ban on the textile and everybody has including yourself. You don't check people that are in that video.
Okay.
Most of you which are taking their coaches and they're not using on them. So we can't tell that happening. You know, some of these statistics can be collected.
Okay, thank you very much, Uche. We got your point. Thank you. Let's come back to Doctor. In terms of what Uche has said, and if we look at a number of issues, I'd like you to respond to some of what you got from what he's just said here.
I'm sorry I wasn't hearing him very well,
Right,
but I got the issue of hikes in prices of several commodities.
Yes.
My response will be that in the immediate aftermath of a situation like this, in the areas affected, certainly a lot of produce and products will be in short supply. So there would be pressure on prices, certainly.
Do you believe strongly that that supply chain would only be affected for a short time?
That is my belief, because I know, at least from some of the meetings I have attended, that this serious concern about the situation is at the very highest level, and that a lot of effort is being put into place for all agencies that can contribute to address the situation. Have been contacted. In terms of what we can plant later, that certainly. But where I'm not up to date is immediately what efforts to bring in the stocks that are available as food for the people who are affected now. As my colleague had mentioned, to move what is available in areas that are not affected quickly there, and that has some supply challenges. But if that can be addressed, then you will not have a situation where there is acute shortage, and then the people themselves will have the means to recover from the situation by planting their own food. But immediately, if you have displaced them from where they normally harvest their food and then have their meals, basically they are dependent on the rest of us who are outside that area. They don't have their land, they don't have their crops that they planted, which they would be maybe enjoying now. So the immediate emergency situation, addressing it, is by actually getting them food. And not only food, I mean, we've discussed that it's shelter, it's water, and a lot of things. But that will be for the emergency disaster committee to address. But then making sure they come out of it, okay, is where then you bring in things like seeds of early maturing varieties, a range of crops, and then they can come out by themselves. They are